Just to
I
get
don't know
past
if you
green
mentioned
dots.
that.
But I'm saving
Yeah.
before every battle just in case things go terribly wrong. I'm probably going to save less in Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 just because those battles really can't go too wrong. We'll see. So, in this battle coming up, most of the enemies in this battle are fixed, but there is one random monster you can get. You can either get an Aribo, which is what we got, which is the pig thing in the back. You can get a Morble, which you guys might recognize from other Final Fantasy games, or you can get an Amaran. The best you can get is probably an Aribo, so that's good luck. The worst you can get is a Morble because he has so much HP. And this battle is very straightforward because every unit in this fight is undead, and also it's raining. And when it's raining in Final Fantasy Tactics, your thunder spells do more damage. That's not a troll, that's a real thing. And because we're killing everything with thunder damage anyways, it'll help us get the damage boost we need to kill everything. And everything we can't kill with spells, we're just going to kill with Phoenix Downs, because Phoenix Downs instant kill all undead enemies, just like they do in other Final Fantasy games.
Question from the chat here wanting to know, is vanilla FFT better than the PSP remake, and if so, why?
Oh boy.
That's such a loaded question, but yeah, I prefer the original version of Final Fantasy Tactics for quite a few reasons. I like the translation of the original a little bit better. The original version has way more glitches, which are obviously cool for speedrunning, but even cool for casual play as well, because they cut out a lot of grinding. And I don't like how many like extra stuff the War of the Lions version has, I guess you can say. Alright, because I don't have the wizard robe, I cannot do this, can I? Indeed, I can't. If I had the wizard robe there, I would have been able to kill the Aribo with a spell from Walmart, I believe is her name. But instead we're going to have to pass turn and kill the Aribo with another unit who actually has MP. Because the wizard robe, in addition to giving you extra magic damage, also raises your MP by a bit. I think that means we're going to see this hilarious move from the Aribo, which is straight dash. Yeah, that's a good one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Rarely seen.
Rarely seen.
Yeah, I think Urubus are probably the weakest monsters that exist in FFT, right?
Yeah, they're like a joke
Yeah.
enemy. They have the lowest HP out of any monster.
We save time though.
But at what cost? Yeah, in general, when I have a choice as to which version of FFT I play, and I always do because I live in a free country, I play the original version of Final Fantasy Tactics, officially endorsed by me, the Claude. Well, you know, there are a lot of
But you
people after Mustadio. They're trying to kidnap him. Apparently he has an object of immeasurable wealth at his disposal. So it feels like the best thing we can do now is to split up and go about our separate ways.
Good plan.
Yeah.
Good plan.
Nothing could possibly go wrong from this. We don't need Lavian anymore. She did a good job, but
No. Yeah,
What?
this is one of the few instances where you actually stand on a tile, and if you move, you get into a battle. I believe there's 2 more that are like that, but yeah. What he did there is actually using the move menu to move on the overworld map, but immediately gets turned into a battle. It's very rare in this game, but there's like, I think 3 spots where that's the case.
yeah, you can actually move via a menu in this game, because you can do pretty much anything via menus in this game. But normally I just click on the dot I want to go to. But there are, like Elmagoose said, there are some instances where you want to use the move menu instead of just clicking on a dot. That's one of them.
Well, I guess ideally it's always faster to use the menu. It's just very inconvenient in most cases.
Well, it depends. If you have to, like, scroll to get to a place on the move menu that's, like, far away from where you're currently standing on, it might be faster to just click on the dot. And would you believe it, Mustadio's been kidnapped. And his father has been kidnapped as well.
Damn.
Damn, dude. He loves Dream Boom, though. That's what matters. This fight is also one that can go very poorly. Especially, again, when you don't have the Wizard Robe. But hopefully the units line up in good spots, and we can make the most of it.
I forget, is Bolt actually empowered for this spell?
Yes, it is. It is.
It is, okay.
But the HP of the units is starting to get higher and higher, so...
Yeah. They keep training.
Mm-hmm. So Mustadio is pretty useless in this fight. He doesn't have his gun, he doesn't have anything, he's actually completely naked. It's not because we stripped him naked prior to him leaving our party. It's just because he starts this battle naked. This is how the fight is programmed.
Actually makes sense that they would strip him of his equipment as well, so I like that actually.
Mm-hmm. The archer is rarely seen going for Ramza instead of Mustadio. Not really sure what's causing that.
Compatibility? Yeah. Yeah.
That's probably it.
Yeah, she's Cancer.
It's...
I think ideally you want to have Mustadio die on the first turn of the enemies, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if that happens, that fixes the position of the enemies to be a little bit more favorable.
Ooh, and she got a lot of evasion too.
Hopefully my spell goes off before his spell. It should. But if he's casting a very low level spell, the chance it might... Okay, we're good.
He did cast a summon, from what I could tell. Okay, nice. I think his spell is actually going pretty well.
Yeah, yeah. Don't want to jinx it because this summoner... Okay, okay.
I'm sorry.
No, no, no. Maybe I should have healed Ramza there, maybe not, I don't know.
Nah, I don't think you should have.
Well, I kind of wanted to because he has best compatibility to the archer, so having him alive might have been useful there.
Oh, right.
Oh, nice. Wait,
Dang.
wait. Alright, we're in there actually.
Nice! Sounds good. Saving more time.
Yeah. And this chick has no evasion as well, so we're actually good. This fight went very,
Nice.
very well. Very well.
Perfect.
I was due for some good luck at some point.
Yeah.
Alright, it's officially still possible to be under my estimate.
Nice.
Again.
Alright. Yeah, saving quite a lot of time as well. Very
Mhm.
nice.
Well, we did it. We saved Mustadio, we saved his father, but, you know, they got the Holy Stone. We chucked it at that mysterious man at the beginning of the battle, so... Oh, never mind. Turns out that was actually a fake stone we gave him. Mustadio had the real stone all this time. So no worries. The object of immeasurable power and wealth is safely in our hands.
Somebody donate to take Mustadio?
I don't think so.
Damn it.
Wow, he had a ton of abilities as well. It came with Move +1. Don't normally see that.
What?
Yeah. He had everything.
Oh my god. That would really be really good for casual play, if you want to grind everybody up.
And coming up, we have 2 cutscenes in a row. One is where we're going to meet with our good friend Alita to talk about the state of affairs. Another one is not super interesting, so if you have any donations to read, go ahead. Alright.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
So I guess we're gonna pick up ethers for safety.
Mm-hmm. I definitely used a lot of MP restoral items earlier. I still have my elixir, but...
Yeah, just to be safe, I guess. Yeah. Ethers. And we can finally buy wizard robes.
Yes, right now I was like without my wizard robe this entire time, which made a lot of the battles very tricky. But now I can buy wizard robes and everything's fine. Doesn't even matter.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, ethers are really cheap. I never bought them in casual play. It's very interesting. Usually in Final Fantasy games, ethers are very expensive.
Mm-hmm. Money isn't really a concern, though, as you'll see later on in the run, but money management does play a very small role early on in the game.
It does?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, especially in this route, because you have to hire 3 generics, and generics don't come cheap.
Oh, right. Yeah, they cost quite a lot of money. I keep forgetting about that detail because I've only run no math category like twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, money management is not a concern at all in 8% categories because you only have to outfit 1 unit, which is Ramza, and Ramza just kills everything with math skills, so...
See?
Also, I figured out the reason why they went for Ramza at Gog Machine City. It had nothing to do with compatibility and everything to do with the fact that I forgot Ramza's armor got broken at Barrios Hill.
Right, I forgot that. Oh man, yeah. He was low on HP, lower than Mustadio.
That's the thing with FFT is that it's hard to keep everything that's happened like in your head because every run is so different.
Yeah, you can't just take your notes and be like, this is always gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to.
You have to play the game a lot. You have to have a lot of knowledge about the game, and you just have to hope that you don't get too terribly screwed. We'll try and keep it to 1 game over. Let's just put it like that.
Well, technically, we did not game over.
Soft reset I count as a game over. So.
Alright.
It almost certainly would have resulted in the game over.
Yeah, probably.
And, you know, Agrias is having much better luck than we are. Turns out she's after... there's some people after her. The princess got taken away. It's just not a good look for anyone. So we have to rescue Agrias. I actually, moved my... Huh, that's interesting. Oh, I see. I actually moved my thief forward into the water for a very specific reason, which was to fix the AI of the archer up top, so she would come down and attack my thief, which would have given me a more favorable position to hit all the units with AoE spells, but she had items secondary and opted to heal the wizard instead of attack my thief, which actually isn't even that bad, because this formation is still pretty good.
Chet says I should explain the plot. Oh, the cutscenes we skipped over, basically Delita warned us about a big tide that he's going against and that we should not interfere with that. And basically in the scene with Dracula, he entrusted Gefgaron with getting rid of us and hunting us down and killing us, and he was tired of Baron's failures, so we decided to kill him. That's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm. Turns out the church might not be all that holy after all.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to
But
say
how
at this point.
Yeah, yeah. I guess we'll find out. We're going to save the princess anyways, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're heading that direction. Alright, that knight dodged the spell, but fortunately I doubled up on bolt 4s, so unless he dodges it again, which he did not, we have a second chance of killing him.
Ooh,
Right.
powerful.
Very nice, very nice. This is the damage you're supposed to do when you have a wizard robe at your disposal.
Nice. Yeah. He like gained, just from the equipment, he gained like 100 damage on his characters, which is insane, if you think about it. And we're taking Agrias, part of the route. I'm pretty sure Delita mentions Big Tide in the cutscene, doesn't he?
I believe he does.
Yeah. Alright. Alright, so the next battle is probably one of the most notorious battles for casual players of this game. I heard from a lot of people that they had trouble the first time, and even the second and third time playing this game in this battle, and had to at least grind a little bit in order to beat it. So let's see how Claude handles it.
Yeah, this is the last fight I'm really worried about. After this battle, the game gets, well, much easier, as you're about to see. Alright, we found the princess, but you know, she's gonna be beheaded, and that's not fun for anyone. Good thing we got here in time. What, you know it was another trap. We can't stop walking into these.
Well, the enemies are smart.
I believe this is the only instance where you actually fight 8 enemies at once, which is quite a bit. So you're actually very, like, drastically outnumbered here. And one of the units I have isn't even a wizard, she's a thief, so we have to kill 8 enemies with essentially 4 wizards. But due to some clever positioning, I'm hoping that the enemies will mostly line up to get hit by AoE spells.
Is it just me or does Gafgarian have low HP?
Yeah, Gafgarian most likely, well, he definitely spawned with a robe instead of armor. Gafgarian's equipment in this battle is random.
I see. Yeah, because usually he has well over 200, but this time he only has 180. Yeah, I believe this is the first fight with 8 or more enemies. Oh, or more is technically not possible, I think, but 8 enemies. This is so easy, CT3 flare done. I agree. That's how I do this battle. Every time. Not looking too bad though.
It's looking alright so far. We'll see.
Oh.
Alright.
Yeah, I guess one little downside of this category is that usually in other categories you try to kill Gafgarian as soon as possible to skip some dialogue. In this, it's really not possible to be faster or fast enough to skip dialogue with him.
Yeah, you can't skip the opening dialogue with any no math category. Alright. I targeted the spells, let's just hope that I kill them and they don't dodge. Not much we can do now. Holy, by the way, cannot be evaded. I Holy Gafgarion here because A, I finally have enough MP to actually cast Holy, and B, Gafgarion is very, very, very dangerous, and you want him dead as soon as possible, no matter what. So I don't take any chances. I just kill him as soon as I have the opportunity to do so.
Oh yeah, interesting side note, this is the only time in the game you can actually steal the Butler from a unit, I think.
Yes, it is.
You can find it in a deep dungeon, I think, if you move find item, but other than that, you cannot get it unless you poach an enemy, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
Alright.
Unfortunately, this knight survived because he dodged the spell, so we're going to have to take him and the archer out. And now is a really good time to use my elixir. So I'm going to do that as soon as I have the means to do so.
Yeah. Still going well though, gotta say. I've seen much worse.
I don't think this knight has enough damage to kill me mid-charge, so I'm just going to charge a bolt 3 on him. Very nice. That battle went pretty well, all things considered.
Yep. And nice suicide. Oh yeah, an interesting side fact as well. If you have a guest in your party and you kill off all your units and the enemy units at the same time, but your guest still lives, you win the battle. It's pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah, I should mention that there's no penalty at all for having units dead at the end of a battle. Like, none whatsoever. All of your units are automatically revived to full HP, full MP at the end of every fight. So, like right there at the end, my wizard died because the knight redirected the bolt 3 onto her. But, I mean, that's fine. The only downside at all was that I had to watch an extra animation. Also, in this cutscene, we find out that Ovelia is in fact not a real princess. Which means her claim to the throne is completely meaningless, but they're just going to use her for their own means because, man, the church is full of a bunch of evil jerks in this game.
Where do they get these ideas?
I don't know. You don't know who to trust in the world of Evilise.
I don't know if this one's been read or not yet, but we did get a $5.09 donation from RJA0ZCOQ96, who says, yeah, but really, guys, shoutouts to money.
Shoutouts to money.
Thank you for that donation.
And right now, Claude has to cross the only green dot in Chapter 2. The only place where you can actually get a random encounter. And he didn't. Very good, very good.
So after the next two fights, things are going to change very drastically in terms of what the speedrun's going to look like.
Yeah.
This will be the last like hard battle. You can't really like game over in this fight, but you can lose a little bit of time. Here we're heading back to Lionel Castle to try and get the princess back, but wouldn't you know it, we walked into yet another trap. I think this is the third one so far.
Yeah, probably.
So this is actually supposed to be a one-on-one duel between Ramza and Gafgarion. Because Ramza's stuck on one side of the gate, and all of your other units are obviously on the other side. But you can actually circumvent that a little bit by opening the gates on the bottom portion of the map, or just straight up teleporting to the other side of the map with Ramza. We don't need to do any of that because we have Holy. We're just going to cast Holy on Gafgarion and kill him right away.
Yeah, Holy is really powerful in this game. Nice, throw stone.
Oh dear.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Very unfortunate that that wizard is dead.
At
You
least
really want
JRTA
all 3 of your units alive, but... Well, all 3 of your wizards, rather.
Yeah, that's the first time we actually seen Geomancy in this game. Geomancer is another one, later job class that you can unlock, which can use the terrain to actually cast magic spells that have status effects combined with it. They are not very powerful, but the status effects that go with them are pretty devastating at times. In this instance, the knight actually had Hell Ivy, which can stop your characters. So, what's the hit rate of the status effect? 16%?
It's somewhere between 19 and 25%. We always thought
Okay.
it was 25% back in the day, but according to the hackers, it seems to be 19%.
Alright. Still very lucky that he didn't get hit with stop. Unfortunately, his wizard died, so yeah, we're gonna see what happens right here.
I revived the wizard, but she's most likely just going to die again.
Let's hope the knight dies. And she did. Perfect. Yeah, Geomancy can be really annoying in speedruns, especially if those statuses proc on you. I, for instance, had it happen in this battle that Ramza got stopped by Hell Ivy, and I wasted like 4 minutes in that fight because of that. There are other instances in the run where Geomancy can be very annoying. Let's hope we don't see them.
Hope you guys are a fan of summon magic, because we see a classic Final Fantasy summon in Shiva occurring right now, taking out my 3rd generic. Oh, or not. She actually tanks it. I believe that is Chesterk? I believe that's Chesterk.
Nice.
And overall a decent fight.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. This next fight should be pretty straightforward, I think.
Yeah.
But this is where the plot thickens, if you wish.
So we're back here, we're back at Lionel Castle, and we got Cardinal Draclau here. We learned in an earlier cutscene, he's probably not a very good guy. And all we want is the princess back, but, you know, turns out, in classic video game fashion, she is in fact in another castle. So we just have this, this old guy here. He looks pretty easy though, I don't think he can really do much.
What is this?
It appears they weren't kidding about the Holy Stones. Yeah,
Damn.
and he just got transformed into a monster of immeasurable evil, as it always seems to occur in these types of games.
He's gotta be strong, right?
He must be. Look at him. I mean, he's going first, so we know he's fast. So yeah, this is the first battle against a Zodiac Demon, which are the primary, like, big bosses of the game. You know, these bosses are pretty challenging. You never know what they're gonna pull out. And he's already dead, pretty much.
Yeah, I think the main difficulty in these fights is that you cannot see the CT of this guy. You cannot, like, you can look up the turn order, but you don't know from the CT when he's gonna go. That's basically the main difficulty, and you cannot see his HP.
Yeah, all of his stats are hidden. His HP, his MP, his CT. You cannot also, like, click on him, so to speak, and check out his abilities, his skill sets. Like, that option's just prevented for the Zodiac Demons, which adds a little bit of mysteriousness to, you know, what they're capable of, how much HP they have left before they die, etc.
But yeah, the first one seemed pretty easy to me.
Yeah. I don't know if it's gonna stay that way, though.
I don't know. Doesn't seem that intimidating.
In the meantime, it seems like Delita has definitely been moving up the ranks in the non-10 forces. There are two sides vying for power at the moment. There's the non-10 and there's the Hoku-10. The non-10 want Ovelia to take power because Goltana, who you see at the top of your screen, is set to rule as king. And the Hoku-10 want Larg to take power with Orinus on the throne. And it seems like Delita has allied himself with the non-10. And he also killed this old guy because he was causing trouble. And why wouldn't you kill a defenseless old man if you had the opportunity?
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah. So I normally take a break during this cutscene, but I think I'm just going to try and ride it out.
Ooh, brave.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna take a break though.
Alright. This is the only point in the speedrun where I can actually, like, get up and do other stuff, because you cannot advance the dialogue manually during this cutscene. You have to wait for it to ride out. There are a few other instances of that, but there's no cutscene long enough where you can actually take a prolonged break without inputting an input, so to speak. Also, it's worth noting that Turbo is technically allowed for this game, but I don't own a Turbo controller because I'm on that poverty status, so I just use a normal PlayStation 1 controller. It's good enough for me.
Does Turbo have any benefit outside of the like the text in the cutscenes?
Well, there's the hidden advantage, obviously, being able to take a break, but in general, using Turbo just saves a ton of time in
Sure.
the text, yeah. Other than that, you don't really need Turbo. It's just for text. Low prices on Turbo controllers only at Walmart, yeah. I like that. This cutscene is just a boring council meeting. They're talking about the state of affairs in Ivalice. And there's some unrest between the non-10 forces, but on that, there's not too much going on. And this cutscene, Ramza is talking again, and he's mentioning the big tide, which is what you see in quotation marks right there, that Delita mentioned in an earlier cutscene, and how the war between the Hokutin and the non-10 is the big tide, and he's trying to go against it because, you know, he's that kind of guy. He doesn't want any fighting, he just wants there to be peace and happiness and everyone to be friends, but it's tough. It's tough. Also, Elmagoose, feel free to explain whatever I'm going to do here if you're back, because I have to do a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, there is a huge menu coming up, but that will basically suit us for the rest of the game. And he's about to use a glitch that is only that can only be used in the Japanese version of the game. which is the first shop glitch, which, funnily enough, if you happen here from the start, he did enter the tutorial. Basically, well, seemingly for no reason, but if you do that, the first shop's actually glitched, and you can buy every item from the first shop that you would usually have enemies to kill enemies for, and get lucky to get those items. So the first shop is fully stocked, and you can buy basically every item in the game. What he's doing right now is basically another glitch that can also be used in the US version. You can duplicate items if you best fit your character, and then unequip it and go out of the menu. But it only works if you have the absolute best equipment on the character, and now he used it to get infinite money with C-Backs, I think it is. And now, as you can see, the first shop usually would be empty, and you would have to poach enemies with the secret hunt ability from the thief, which is why he actually built up his thief. You need secret hunt to have access to the first shop, and because he did the stuff in the tutorial at the beginning, he can now buy everything in the game, and it's used to buy lots and lots and lots of very, very powerful items. So basically, yeah, we just broke the game pretty hard. He has lots of items that would only be accessible through either the plot or finding them, or like I said, like poach very powerful monsters that you would usually, in most cases, have to breed up yourself. So yeah, from here on out, it's getting pretty crazy with equipment. And I think he got everything he needs. Bought some Phoenix Downs for safety, I suppose. But yeah, we have access to the most powerful Might Swords, the most powerful Rod, the most powerful guns. I think we bought a bow as well. And of course, the most powerful equipment as well. Armor and whatnot. And the finishing touch here, right here, is that he teaches all of his units time magic abilities. Because time magic is pretty powerful in this game as well. Basically, mostly for the passive abilities, movement abilities, but also for some spells. I think he's learning Demi and... what is the other one? Quick. And you'll see why he did that as we go along. Also, normally, if you don't have...
Go on. Sorry.
What happened?
You like it?
What did you do?
I didn't do anything wrong. It's just Agrius. Agrius came with Lightning Stab.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Okay, that's very convenient, I guess. Nice. Is that even possible? Like, that has to be right at the edge of JP learning, right?
Well, it happened, which is good. I'm just really surprised that it happened.
Yeah, that's actually very favorable. Usually Agrius has Stasis Sword, Split Punch, and maybe Crush Punch. But Lightning Stab, that's amazing. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Yeah, usually Agrius actually is not a good unit to carry over in a speedrun if you don't do this glitch, because she's very weak actually. But since she has the Holy Sword skill set, and we have these powerful items in this particular speedrun, she actually is really useful because we get access to the Chaos Blade. And we will demonstrate why when we get past this random encounter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a very intense menu. That's the biggest menu you have to do in any, like, category of FFT, so that's why I was pretty quiet during it. But I think I remember to do everything. Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, for reference, I think Agrius starts with 800 JP, is that correct? And Lightning Step costs 700 or something? I don't know. It's pretty ridiculous that she has it. That's all I know.
Yeah, she has Stasis Sword learn, which she always has learned because it's a 100% chance learned. Everything beyond that is random. For her to actually have Lightning Stab is pretty good luck, to be honest.
And the reason we want Lightning Step, it has like 3 range, which is huge, and is more powerful than Stasis Sword, and hits like in I don't know what to call it, an access targets, I guess. It's the 5 spaces he targeted on. Unlike other Holy Sword skills, which only target one person.
Yeah, I could do like a completely different set of strats now that I have Lightning Stab. I didn't like plan for any of that because it's so rare that Agrius will actually have Lightning Stab. But basically, any instance where you want to use Stasis Sword, you're gonna want to use Lightning Stab instead, and that'll allow me to like have a much greater variety in like who I can target. It'll increase my damage. Like it's just a great thing all around. So things are definitely looking up.
Is this world record pace now?
You know, I don't think so, but we're definitely gonna bring it back for sure.
Alright, nice. It's also worth noting that Agrius is pretty big in Japan. Japanese people like Agrius.
Yeah, for the most part, this game is pretty forgotten as a whole in Japan and in North America. Like everywhere you go, no one really remembers it. But the Japanese player base of this game still has a very fond place in their heart for Agrius. So that's cool that you get to use her a lot in this run. Because as Elmagoose said, normally she's not very good, but with a Chaos Blade, she is extremely powerful. And especially if she has Lightning Stab. As we're probably going to witness right here.
Yeah, you can see the equipment is already doing work. You saw basically in every battle before this, the enemy went first, but now for this battle, suddenly Claude goes first and kills off enemies just like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, because she has Lightning Stab, I wonder if I can hit both chemists at once. I don't think so, because I don't think I have the range, but technically I could.
You can, I think.
Not quite. If I had moved +1, I could have done it.
Ah, damn it. Or jump this one.
Yes, or jump +1.
But yeah, you can see why he learned, this is the quick spell, which, basically that's, fills up the CT of the unit if it hits. And you can see if you do that on Agrius with good you want to have at least good compatibility and high magic attack, because magic attack actually affects the hit rate of the spell as well. It has a base hit rate, and I think it gets affected by magic attack and compatibility and faith. Correct me if I'm wrong. Good battle, by the way.
Yeah. Shame about the encounters, but the fight itself went really well. Also, yeah, I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but we're essentially duplicating Agrius' turns by casting Quick on her, which allows her to, get many turns at once, and that's really good because Agrius is obviously doing a lot of damage. Anyone who's not casting Quick is just shooting people with spell guns, which is a very powerful item you normally don't have access to until later on in the game, but because we did the first shot glitch, we have access to every item in the game, so we can get them very early on. That's really cool. And combined with having items that boost speed, you get a lot of turns with your chemists, so you can shoot all the enemies essentially before they get very many turns, which is good because it drastically reduces the amount of randomness in the game to kill the enemies before they can move.
Definitely. Also, we didn't get to see Galaxy Stop, which is, I guess, good for a speedrun, but sad for the fans.
Yeah, no one likes Galaxy Stop. I don't like Galaxy Stop.
I used to like it.
Anyone who speedruns this game definitely doesn't like Galaxy Stop. And you know, we saved that Olin guy. That was his name. I don't know why. You know, he was on the way, so we did it. And now we came here to see our brother to see if we can convince him to. I think he wants to see if there's like anyone manipulating the war. So he wants to warn his brother, but Zelbag doesn't really care, so it's like whatever.
Oh, I see. You're gonna kill him with Holy, right?
Yes.
Okay, so even though we are powerful right now, it still seems to be faster to actually use white magic in this battle, for reasons that we're gonna see soon.
Mm-hmm. Well, technically, it would be faster to use Agrius and just hit him with Lightning Stab, but Agrius starts too far away in this battle for it to matter. Ramza starts way in front of all of your other units, so you have to use Ramza to kill the unit in this fight, who is your antagonist. We don't see yet. Maybe it's Ramza's sister, Alma. Maybe she's going to turn on us. Maybe she's finally had enough. Ah, that's right, that's right. In our midst of trying to save the princess and trying to figure out what's going on with the war, it's easy to forget that we killed a holy man in Cardinal Draclau, and you know, that really upset the heresy examiners, and now he's after us.
Damn. We should have thought of that, right?
Yeah.
Ah.
And now he's dead, by the way.
Yeah. So yeah, it's still... This is basically a way in every category to kill him. Equip white magic and cast holy, because holy, like Claude said earlier, can't miss and it will kill him 100% of the time.
Zalmo, the name of the heresy examiner, his name is Zalmo. He has a white robe equipped which halves all elemental damage, so you can't really use spell guns to kill him because spell guns deal either lightning, fire, or ice damage. So you just use holy and you're good to go. Zalmo is kind of like a joke boss of FFT. You fight him here, and spoilers, you're going to fight him one more time later on in the game, and he's not much more challenging then either. And in this cutscene, we find out that Ramza's sister, she's concerned about us, she wants to help us on our journey. So she offers to come with us, and we can't really say no, because it turns out she also knows where a holy stone is hiding. So, seems like a good deal.
Yeah, because these holy stones are so powerful, we better get a hand on it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're obviously used for evil, so... Guardian is the joke plus? I don't think so. I made it without getting an encounter.
Mm-hmm.
Usually this is the spot where I see people getting encounters the most of the time.
Yeah,
guess
although
it's just
each green
coincidence.
dot is the same amount of chance to pass. I even tested, I believe it's Yuko Woods, no, it's Grog Hill in Chapter 4, because I always seem to get an encounter there, like every single time, but I tested on emulator, and it's the same odds as every other green dot, which is 30% chance to get an encounter.
Yeah. More
Anywho, it looks like
people.
someone beat us to the punch, coming to Orbon Monastery, which is where Alma said she saw a holy stone. So we're gonna go investigate, and we're gonna go leave our sister alone with this frail old man, because it seems like he can protect her.
Of course. Please.
Of course.
She is our sister. She's gotta know how to fight.
Yeah. It's gonna be the first battle I don't save before, because I'm that confident.
You didn't save? Oh boy.
Am I really still an enemy of peace and justice in the world? Or, excuse me, in the universe? I thought that died down after I became King of Donkey, after beating up all the nerds. But apparently not.
Beating up all the nerds, nice. The speedrun needs more haste. Unfortunately, I don't think haste is very useful as a spell itself, although we get it through items.
Yeah,
We
both
glitch
of my
through
chemists are automatically hasted via the accessory the Steady M's in, which is a item you're not supposed to have until very late in Chapter 4.
and even then, it's very hard to get. But yeah, the basic setup for all these fights is, like Claude said earlier, we have a Chaos Blade for Agrias and guns for Okamis, but yeah, the ZTM's in because it gives us haste, mostly. And Secret Clothes because they make us invisible and are the most powerful equipment they can have at this point. Well, I guess Agrias could have something more powerful, but... And worth noting is the curse ring on both Ramza and I think it's Alicia.
Yes. The Curse Ring is actually a pretty good item because it gives you +1 speed, +1 MA, and +1 PA. Compared to the Sprint Shoes, which only give you +1 speed, the Cursed Ring does everything that the Sprint are, at the cost of making you undead, but being undead isn't even that big a deal.
Yeah.
The worst thing that can possibly happen is that a generic unit comes with item and uses a Phoenix down on you, which instantly kills you. But that's only happened to me like twice in like any run I've done that involves the Cursed Ring.
Sounds like something that could happen in this run.
Could happen in this run, hopefully it doesn't. Great fight, by the way. Having Lightning Stab is going to make a lot of these fights pretty good.
Trivial? Yeah.
I wouldn't say trivial, but...
Also, he learned Teleport for his chemists, and I guess for other units as well. It's worth noting that Teleport, it seems like you can teleport anywhere on the map, but actually, you have a certain amount of move on every character. Like, I think you right now have 4 on your chemists.
3, actually.
Oh, you don't have moves +1, right? So 3, and, well, if you want to teleport, you could theoretically go anywhere on the map, but it's only guaranteed to get you, like, 3 spaces forward. Like, if you want to go further, there's a chance the teleport is gonna fail. I think for every tile it's 10%.
Yes, an additional 10% chance of failure beyond your move range for every square you try and teleport.
Which, actually, he teleported, like, what, 6 tiles right there? So he had a 30% chance to fail that, but he didn't, so yeah, everything's good.
I go for a lot of risky teleports in Chapter 3 and Chapter 4. But they are calculated risks, and the penalty for failing them isn't even that bad. Just because you are so powerful, you can't really be defeated by these at this point in the game. Like, you're not going to see any more game overs unless I forget an item or whatever. By the way, this is Islude. He's working for the church, specifically the Shrine Knights, which are charged with recovering the Holy Stones, and we already killed him before he got a turn, or before anyone on the field got a turn, because we're that kind of guy. It's worth noting that I brought an archer to this fight instead of a chemist because the archer has a faster attack animation than the chemist. Because you don't want to watch a spell go off and you don't want to watch a teleport animation go off. Because both of those things are slow, so I'm going to use an archer in any instance where I can instead of a chemist.
Sounds good. Yeah, worth noting is that we didn't actually kill this dude, but he got into critical HP, which basically triggers the fight to be over. There are a few fights like that where you have an assassination battle where it's enough to, like, get a character into critical HP, and the fight will be over. What about forgetting a character? Yeah.
Sounds
Some
fake.
people have seen... Yeah, I don't know. But who does need the Thunder God, please?
So now that I have move +1 on Agrias, I actually changed her from a Holy Knight to a regular Knight, which seems counterproductive, but a regular Knight actually has more physical attack power than Agrias' Holy Knight class, which gives you an idea of how bad Agrias' Holy Knight class really is. So I was just in there to get move +1, now I have it, and now she's just going to stay at Knight for the rest of the game, pretty much.
I have a dumb question.
Go ahead.
Does Holy Knight have the same speed as Knight?
Yes.
It does, right?
Exact same speed.
Okay, good.
And look, it's our old friend Wygraf from Chapter 1. We thought we took care of him, but turns out he's abandoned his ideals, joined the church. Oh my god, he has so many hit points. What the heck? I didn't even know he could have this many.
What?
He has so many hit points. He has 423.
That's like the best equipment he can come with, right?
I don't know. I hope I have enough damage to kill him. Okay, I do. You know what it is? They buffed Wygraf. Well, they didn't really buff, but Wygraf has more HP. Like, Wygraf is just an overall, like, way stronger character in the Japanese version of this game compared to the North American version. He has way more speed and apparently way more hit points as well. I thought Ygraph could not exceed 400 HP, and I'm probably correct if this was the North American version of the game. However, in the Japanese version of the game, he has apparently can go up to like 426. That's the first time ever in my life I've ever seen him above 300.
But it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, he's dead. Wonder if I needed Lightning Stab to kill him. Probably not, but it's a good thing I had it.
He did 470, so probably not.
Yeah. Damn, now you feel bad for Ygraph. We just, you know, he was so proud of joining the Shrine Knights, avenging his sister, making his dreams come true, and now he's on the verge of death. But you know what? Those Holy Stones. Turns out he had one too. Who doesn't have a Holy Stone at this point, really?
What's the worst that could possibly happen?
Yeah. Looks like the stone is talking to him. I didn't know stones could talk, but in this game, anything's possible.
Uh-oh, I've seen this before.
I've seen this before as well. Wouldn't you know it, he got transformed into a monster, just like Cardinal Dracula. And now he's a giant sheep. Well, technically a ram, but I like to think of him as a sheep.
Damn.
Yeah. We draw our sword, by the way, even though we can't equip a sword. Oh, we can
That's
equip our rods. But yeah, Ramza always draws his sword in this fight, because it assumes that you left Ramza as a squire. Oh yeah, in the midst of all that, our sister got kidnapped, and also this frail old man named Simon got beat up. It's just really not going well for us.
I think he gave us something, right?
Yeah, he gave us a book, but, you know what? I don't have time to read books. I don't have time to do math, I don't have time to read books. I'm not doing, like, anything you would do in a classroom, I'm not going to do.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, you know what you don't do in a classroom? Cast spells. That's what I want to do right now. Just cast spells and shoot people with guns. Although you could argue that in today's public school system, you know, gun shootings are becoming... What? What? Hello? Too soon? Alright.
Yeah, a bit too soon, probably.
Alright. Also, there's an exotic wizard who is asking us about the book we didn't read, but, you know, we don't have time for him. You know what we do have time for? Donations. And also more cutscenes. I don't know if any more donations have come in, but feel free to read them.
I have regret to announce that there are no new donations, so if someone would like to have a donation read, they should do that now.
Dude, I love donations. I wish there were more of them.
I can reiterate that our previous donation comment was, yeah, but really guys, shoutouts to money.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense. There's, like, nothing left in the marathon to actually donate for. I mean, Dragon Quest 3 is already happening. You guys made that happen a long time ago, so you just have to donate out of the goodness of your heart if you want to do it right now. And who would do that? I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I would, but, you know, I'm not going to. But
yeah, I guess for us it's kind of weird because a lot of the incentives, you know, we didn't plan on making 6,000 so fast. So like Mike Tyson's KO for $250, that didn't get met because we had already met the goal way before that. So it was really hard to convince people to donate.
Can I ask what our current donation total is at, though?
It's at $12,307.
Okay. So, Elmagoose, you want to go into a bit of detail about what we had planned out? Maybe set it at, like, 13k?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. So, the final boss of this game, it's actually pretty easy in a speedrun. It's pretty straightforward and pretty boring to watch. So, what Claude had in mind, since he's the self-proclaimed king of FFT, he wants to show that off. but it comes at a price. So I had to like secretly plan out restrictions for the final boss battle that I'm gonna give Claude prior to entering the final gauntlet of this game. Well, the price for that is we would like to get like 13,000 in total donated, so I can make him like suffer a bit and think about what he has to do.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's capable. But it would still be fun to see the challenge, I'm pretty sure.
So if I'm understanding correctly, if we hit 13,000 by the end of
By
the
the
run,
end of the game, yes.
then you're going to give Claude restrictions on how to beat the final boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, I told
Okay.
Elmagoose to come up with the craziest way for me to beat the final boss battle you can possibly imagine, and he's going to tell me how to do it like 10 minutes before I actually have to do it. I have to think about like what strategy I'm going to do, what my game plan is, etc. And I haven't practiced like any of it. Because the final boss fight in this game, I don't want to spoil it too badly, but it's very, very, very anticlimactic. So, if people want an incentive to donate for, they can donate for that. But if you just want to see a really like boring boss kill, anticlimactic finish to the run, you know, you can not donate, but I don't want to see that. I don't think anyone wants to see that.
All right, so there it is. I will need a little bit under $700 before the end of the run. And already we seem to have inspired people.
Ooh.
We have $8.95 from Anonymous. Just a reminder that the Claude should not be winning. He is an enemy of peace and justice, a force of evil in the universe. Please raise your arms and transfer your spirit energy so that we may charge.
Yeah, if you want to see me get epic owned, I definitely recommend donating because, you know, the best part that doesn't get talked about much is that the real reason to watch me play FFT is to watch me get epic owned in these fights.
True.
Yeah. No one wants to watch a speedrun where everything goes well and, you know, everything is exactly how you planned. Unless you actually know the guy and you're like good friends with him. But a lot of people, at least with me, they really want to see me fail. They want to see me screw up. And there's no better way to do that than to make me do a fight I haven't practiced for at all.
Alright, we also have $1.69 from Void Stalker 0. He says, just to mess with the OCD guys. Also, hashtag money.
Yo, speaking of money, shouts to money. Also, in this fight, it was pretty unremarkable. We fought a bunch of deserters who left the non-10 forces and were trying to attack us because there was a bounty on Ram's head because he's wanted by the church. And regrettably, we had to kill them, even though, like, we didn't really have to. And this is the first battle where Rams is like, what's all this fighting really for? Is this worth it? I don't know. But our good friend Olin, who we saved about half hour, 40 minutes ago, is here to give us some support. And we find out that Olin is actually working for the non-10 troops, who technically aren't on our side. Neither the Hokutin, but he seems to like us.
Coming up is the battle that I personally hate.
Ooh, I didn't save before it. Well, hopefully
Oh.
it turns out okay.
The spell can be very dangerous. Because this is the first time we're gonna face off against ninjas.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna face off against two very powerful classes, which are male ninjas and female summoners. And there's, to top it all off, there's someone we have to protect, and there's a very, 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 very small chance that the unit you have to protect can die before you get even a single turn, really. And I didn't
Oh,
save
man.
before this battle, but, you know, the odds of her
Don't.
dying are like less than 1%, so hopefully we'll be okay. And we have lightning stab, so...
Oh man, if this
Best of
happens
luck.
now... Oh man.
We've got $5 from Balthier, who says, $5 for my cameo in TTF.
Here's some good donations.
But there have been some sick references in these donations from you guys.
Alright, here we go.
Here we go. But first, we have to equip change, which is an ability you don't see in any other speedrun of this game. And we're equip changing into the stone gun, because if we just wanted to equip the stone gun naturally, before the battle began, we would begin the battle petrified, which is not very good. But if you equip change into the stone gun, then you ignore the initial petrification, which is good, because the stone gun is easily one of the most powerful weapons in the game. It deals a static 256 damage, ignoring like defense up, attack up, things like that, not counting compatibility. And that's really good because we're also very low level in this speedrun. So if we can just deal static damage, not dependent on our PA or MA, or physical attack or our magical attack, it's really good. Unfortunately, the guests we're supposed to protect in this fight did not die, so that's great.
One ninja tried though, with the javelin, I think. I think he threw a spear at the very least.
I believe it was a stick.
Really?
That could have been. Looked like a stick from where I was, but...
Well, it did a lot of damage, that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the other one threw a weak shuriken, I think.
Rafa's coming over to our side. Usually she runs to the other direction. But...
Yeah, most of the time she'll use one of her skills, which is pretty useless, but... Not at this time. I think because she had defend.
Yeah, defend is a good bet. I don't normally see her with defend.
Now, Claude, I guess people just needed a reason to donate because we got a $100 donation.
Wow.
From Hectoliter, or Hectoliter, for Doctors Without Borders and Final Boss Battle with Borders, please.
That's great.
That's a good one.
$10 from Neurotaku, who says donate now or die in obscurity. $1 from Ty, who says Super Mario RPG.
Never heard of that game.
And $5 from RJA0ZCOQ96, who says, how much do we have to raise to get Donald Land after the run? Hashtag stand with Donald.
I mean, depending on who you ask, I already played Donald Land in this marathon. But, you know, that's dependent on who you ask. Great game, though, Donald Land.
It is a good game.
Yeah, it really is. Oh, by the way, we saved this this stranger. Her name is Rafa, and her brother Moloch sent a frog after us to warn us that they're coming after us. And after the frog delivered its message, it self-destructed. One of my favorite cutscenes in the game. I just thought I'd explain it for those of you who were confused. You just saw an exploding frog for no reason.
Yeah. I guess. Please save though, just in case. Thank you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Alright, yeah, you see him re-equipping the blast guns.
Actually, it's
Simply
the glacier
because-
gun for this fight.
Right, it doesn't make sense with the translation. Okay, yeah, well, the glacier gun because you don't want to start with the stone gun, like he explained earlier. So you gotta change that after the fight, every time you do equip it in a fight.
Yeah, the glacier gun is a great weapon. Obviously, as the name would imply, it shoots out fire, which is good against this this next battle because you fight a few ghosts, and ghosts are weak to fire. So you can just one-shot all of them with one shot from the glacier gun. And anyone you don't one-shot with the glacier gun, you kill with Phoenix Downs. Similar to the fight at Zygola Swamp, where you can instantly kill undead enemies with Phoenix Downs. Unfortunately, you're already a chemist, because you need chemists, because chemists are one of 2 generic classes that can equip guns. So it all works out very nicely.
We have a $21.36 anonymous donation, bringing the total to a nice even $12,460.
Cool.
Thank you guys for donating.
This fight is nice because there's essentially no random elements at all. The only random thing that can potentially screw you up is if that rightmost Time Mage has worse compatibility to Agrius, causing Agrius to not do enough damage to kill her. But other than that, you instantly kill all the enemies, not from across the screen like Matt's skill, but from, you know, relatively close to them. So that's nice to have a battle with no RNG in the middle of the run.
Well, I guess in this case, she would have killed her even with worse compatibility because you have Lightning Stab. Probably. I'm not
Maybe,
sure. Maybe,
yeah. Having Lightning Stab is so cool. Like, I don't really have to worry about like my movement or my damage or whatever, just because Lightning Stab is so good. And I'm saving frames over Stasis Sword every time I use it, because Lightning Stab has a faster animation than Stasis Sword. That
Alright,
battle, by
this
the way,
is-
didn't really have any relevance to the plot at all, so... Sorry, go
Yeah,
on.
this is what we've been working for though in the last 3
Ah,
hours.
yes. So, this is a
The best
one-frame
trick in the
trick.
game.
If you press an input on the right frame, this guy right here, named Barton, will disappear for a split second. I got it! I got it! I got it! I got it! I got
Nice.
disappearing Barton, dude. I got it. Dude, that's worth like $10 million in donations right there. That is a one-frame trick. If you have to advance the dialogue on the precise frame, and he disappears for just like a few seconds. And I'm
Yeah.
not kidding about that being one frame. So I'm really happy I got that. Like, this entire run is saved now because I got
Nice.
disappearing Barton.
Yeah. Officially speedrun now.
Officially a speedrun. Say speedrun. 'Cause we're having one right here, right now. Can't hit a jump roll in Donkey 1, but I can get disappearing Barton in this game. Really puts things into perspective. Ah, so good. Also, Barton is the guy who commands Moloch and Rafa. He took them in when they were orphans, and he's working with the Shrine Knights because he wants the Holy Stones, because he wants power. But the Shrine Knights are having none of that, so they're gonna do some bad things to this guy. But it doesn't matter because we got disappearing Barton.
True.
Nothing even matters. It's like when I got Sweet Roll in DK in the True Ending run. Forgot there was a save prompt after this. Gonna save again.
Yeah, you can.
We have a $25 donation from Barbados. The speedrunning community always reminds me of how many animals actually die in speedruns. What do game developers have against animals? Rip Frog.
Rip Frog, dude. His organs were just made out of M80s, like that episode of Space Ghost. I don't think anyone gets that reference, but I got it. So.
I like Space Ghost.
Yeah. Alright, round 2 with the exotic wizard named Moloch. Here, we're gonna do the same strat we did at Yardo Fort City, which is equip change into the stone guns, because the elemental guns just aren't powerful enough to take out these high HP knights. And even though we worked so hard to save Rafa in the last battle, we're gonna kill her off right away. That's actually to save some dialogue between Moloch and Ramza. And when you kill Rafa in this fight, it automatically kills Moloch as well, as you see him teleport off. So it seems cruel, but it was done for the sake of speed.
It's also worth noting that this is one of the few battles where you actually fight 8 enemies. If you count Moloch, that is.
Really?
I think.
I
yeah.
see 3 archers and 3 knights.
Is it 7?
Yes.
Okay.
What the? Oh my, he has counter flood. Wow. Alright, well, okay. Good thing he didn't
Alright.
turn me into a frog.
Yeah. Counter Flood is a reaction ability from Geomancer, which essentially lets him counter with Geomancy from the turn he's on. It's very rare that the knight that he shot has that. I don't know. I've never seen it before. I know he has a good chance of having Geomancy equipped or Elemental, but I didn't know he could have Counter Flood.
Me neither. Fortunately, I got worse compatibility to this archer, so she survives. Get some quick cleanup and shouldn't be too bad. Go ahead.
It's still looking good.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Geomancy skill was called Water Ball, if I'm
Yes,
correct.
you are.
And he's dead anyways now. So everything's good. A very good fight, actually.
Mm-hmm. One-shotting the knight on the left is really useful. The HP ranges on the knights can vary drastically in this fight. Sometimes you can one-shot them, sometimes you can't, and obviously it's dependent on compatibility as well.
Oh yeah, I have a question about Counter Flood, actually. Is it also caused by Brave, like the percentage?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Also, you can use abilities from Counterflood that you don't actually have learned as a Geomancer.
Yeah, that one.
Well, gosh darn it, it seems like there's some bad things happening outside as Ramza's sister sits here kidnapped in this castle. Which is why we came here in the first place, by the way, because we heard she was here.
We've got quite a few donations that seem to be related to each other. We've got $1 from Ty, who says, $1 for bringing Barrington back. Thank you, he was missed. $50 from Rename. $50 for Barrington. Was talking to Claude a few days ago about disappearing Barrington donation incentive, and he pulled it off. Grats, Claude, you're a pretty keen dude. Also, what up, Magoo?
Thanks, Rename.
Shoutouts to Rename.
Shouts to Rename.
And $15 from Pink Pajamas. Barrington inspired me to donate in all of his disappearing glory. Thanks for the donations, everyone, and we're getting closer to that $13,000 goal.
I like it.
Alright, so coming up is a very, very famous battle, probably the most famous battle in all of Final Fantasy Tactics, which is inside Ryavane's castle. And everyone who's played this game probably remembers this battle because it is a true one-on-one duel between Ramza and the man who killed all of these knights, who is, of course, Swygraf. And unlike the battle at outside Lionel with Gafgarion, you can't circumvent this in any way. You have to fight it with only one unit. And many people who play this game save only on one file, and when they go into the Ryovane series of battles, they save over their only file, and they get stuck in this battle. And they can't defeat Ygraf, and no surprise, Ygraf is actually pretty tough, especially on the Japanese version where he has 2 more speed. He's actually neutered in the North American version. Still a lot of people had trouble with him. But we're better than that. We're just going to cast Holy on him and instant kill him, because we're cool. Also, it's worth knowing that even though Ygraf opens with Lightning Stab, he can't actually kill me because I have the Robe of Lords equipped, which grants me Auto Protect. So I have enough HP to tank the Lightning Stab and come out of it okay. Also, prior to this fight, you might have seen me leave these stone guns on all of my chemists. And even though previously I said that if I started a battle with these stone guns on my units, they would start the battle petrified. And that's true, except in 2 battles, one of them being this one. Because this battle is a little bit glitchy. basically, because of how it places your units into the second portion of this battle, it actually ignores any starting status effects on your units. Which means that my units will not start petrified, and they'll be able to use the stone gun with no hindrances. Which is pretty handy.
Good question to Shad, because lightning step can silence, and you're casting a spell. What do you have to protect against silence?
Indeed, that is a good question. I have the mighty golden hairpin, which prevents silence, and also gives me a bunch of MP, which is needed because I have to cast both Holy on Ygraph 1, well, Ygraph 3 technically, but the Ygraph portion of the fight, and I have to cast Flare on Velius. And just like that, Velius is dead. It's also worth noting that the initial status effects are actually applied after your chemists take a turn. So you'll notice that after I shot Velius, I didn't get a chance to like move around or change direction or anything like that, because my chemist actually became petrified after they shot him, for whatever reason. So all of my chemists were actually ending the battle petrified, even though it doesn't look like it, again because this battle is so glitchy. So the only unit I technically had alive was Ramza. That's all you need.
Nice.
Yep. I see someone in the chat said learning Ultima in this next fight is the funnest. You actually cannot learn Ultima in this next fight, because only Ramza's Chapter 4 Squire class has a chance to learn Ultima, and Ramza is still in his Chapter 3 Squire class for this next fight. So even if you had Ultima cast on you, which is pretty tough, you would not be able to learn it.
They do have Ultima though, right?
Do I have it learned already?
No, I mean the assassins do have Ultima, right?
Yeah, they have it.
They do, yeah.
Well, Alma probably shouldn't have gone running off on her own by herself with all these dead bodies around, so it's not looking too good for her.
Oh wait.
But you know, wouldn't you have it, wouldn't luck have it, turns out she's the chosen one. She's the chosen one that Vormov, the name of that knight, has been searching for quite a long time, to host the body of someone called Sanajora, who is the person they're trying to resurrect, essentially.
We have $25 from Skeeg. Says donating 25 more because I want Claude to figure out the solution to Goose's puzzle before it inevitably gets patched. Hashtag Rise Warrior.
Now, it wouldn't be the first time this game has been patched after I played it. Like, I wanna... you think I'm kidding, but... like, back in the day, before I did speedruns of this game, I did play the very famous 1.3 hack of this game. A very, very, very difficult mod of Final Fantasy Tactics. And I beat it all on my stream. Unfortunately, all the VODs got deleted because, it's just the way things go. I didn't bother highlighting anything. And after I beat the entire thing, the creator of the hack, whether this is coincidence or not, I don't know, essentially patched every strategy I used to complete the hack. And now I would never be able to do it again if I wanted to play the most recent version. Just kind of funny. But that's what happens when you're the Claude.
It's just part of the plan to take the Claude down.
Yeah. I heard he's a force of evil in the universe, so
Yeah.
it makes sense.
We have $4.99 from some DDR noob. If you want to support Claude, please follow, subscribe, and donate to twitch.tv/dreamboom. Dream Slime.
Dream Slime. Dude, please donate to twitch.tv/dreamboom. Like, I don't know how long it's been since his last donation, but I think it's time. But while you're doing that, you know, maybe you should donate to the JRTA Marathon instead. Like, donate to both. Just donate to both, really. They're both worthy causes. Also, in that cutscene, Baratin, who disappeared earlier for us, shot Moloch because he was trying to protect his sister, because it turns out Baratin did some very mean things to Rafa when she was little. But that doesn't matter, because suddenly some assassins in Elmdor showed up, and apparently they're like undead or, you know, possessed by evil. So we had to shoot one of the assassins, and that ends the battle, and that's the end of Chapter 3.
Yeah, the first time you get into that battle, you're kind of scared because it says protect Rafa, and there's like 3 powerful units against you, and you don't know what to do. But turns out you only have to get one into critical HP.
Yeah, that's another battle that's very difficult for people who play the game casually, because they have a lot of trouble saving Rafa, because, you know, it makes sense. There's 3 very powerful units, and Rafa has very low HP, and Rafa is also very suicidal in that fight if she gets a turn. There's actually a trick where you can make the units go for your own units, or rather make the enemy units go for your own units, instead of Rafa, which is just get completely naked. Like, take off all of your HP boosting equipment, and the enemies will go for your own units instead of Rafa. Very handy trick. Not that we need that in this this run, because we just, you know, shoot the assassins and we're good to go. Also, we see Rafa drawing out the power of a Holy Stone here. That doesn't turn out so well for anyone else, but in this case, because she was, you know, invoking the power of love instead of the power of, you know, evil, which is the power I invoke, of course, she was able to revive her brother, and everything is good to go. Moloch's back alive. Good for her.
Agreed.
Unfortunately, because we're playing the Japanese version of the game, we don't get to see this hilariously translated cutscene. This is probably one of the most, like, garbled cutscenes in the game, if you're playing on the NA version. Basically, Ramza is wondering, like, what the true nature of the Holy Stones is, who made them, what their purpose is, and you really have to, like, sit there and think about what he's trying to say. But in this version, we just get to enjoy the fast speed and move on with our lives. I heart D-Boom. It's so glorious. Also, it's worth mentioning that that green knight you see on the floor, I'm not sure if I mentioned his name before, his name is Islud. He's actually the son of Vormov, who is the one who kidnapped Alma. In Vormov's rage, he actually killed his own son because he wanted the Holy Stone so badly. Not a very nice situation.
We have a $17 donation from not SQ Pat. It says kill the animals at FNAF.
I will do so. Also, Rafa and Moloch opted to join our party just there, but they are among the most useless characters in the game, so we opted not to take them. Whether it's casually or in a speedrun, Moloch and Rafa just don't get much love. Yeah, here they are in this next cutscene anyways, so I just couldn't take no for an answer.
What did they come with? I missed it. Did they have any abilities?
Nothing interesting that I saw.
Ah, damn.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, on the non-10 forces, the war is definitely heating up. We see Olin here, who seems to be on our side, converging with his, who he calls his father. I think it's technically his father-in-law, Thunder God Sid, aka Orlando. Orlando is a very powerful person in the world of Ivalice. It'd be nice to have him on our side. He has a Holy Stone and everything, so
But man, that's not gonna happen.
that's probably
please.
not going to happen yet. That would just make the game even easier.
Yeah.
Hey, I think I have some pretty exciting news to announce here.
Oh, nice.
Are you guys a fan of snipers?
What is
'Cause-
that? Oh, snipers, yes. Go on.
Snipers, yeah. We
I
just
like
had
them.
someone snipe the 13K
Oh,
with a $402.01 donation
wow.
from Gavba. What an amazing climb from the 5 viewer days with Vegeta to being our FFT world record holder. I definitely want to make your final battle punishment happen. Your faithful archive viewer, Gavba.
Wow. Yeah, Goblin's been a long time viewer of my stream. That is an amazing donation. So I guess that means we're actually going to do it. Huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn,
Thank you
nice.
for the
Wow.
donation. That was very generous.
How very fitting that he donated too.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
I didn't know he had it in him. I should probably mod him in my chat. He's been watching since day one. I mean, I modded a robot that Tonic made after like one day, but I didn't mod my like most long-time viewer. It's probably a mistake. I'll fix that after the speedrun. If I can get to, you know, Doggiola Pass sometime
Did
this
you click
century.
on Bravenia? Did
Oh,
you
yeah.
click on Bravenia?
Click on
You gotta
Bravenia.
click on Bravenia.
Gotta click on Bravenia. I forgot to click on Bravenia, but it seemed to work out anyways.
Nice.
Man, what do you have in store for me, Almagoose? Is it something good?
It's. I'm gonna be honest. You should be able to do it, but it has some twists in it. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Alright.
It could be interesting. It could be interesting for sure.
Okay. Next up is another filler battle. Not too much going on here. These are some non-10 troops sent to stop us, and they're on their way, so let's shoot them up. Lack of a better term. Wow, I did exactly that unit's HP and damage with that that attack. That's really good luck. I actually got really amazing luck in like all of Chapter 3.
Yeah, we made up quite some time too.
It really is a shame about that beginning, but past that beginning, like the run's just been going like great.
Pretty much.
Oh yeah, because I have Lightning Stab here, I wonder if I can hit both the Lancer and the Knight at once.
Yeah, you should be able to. You have move +1, right?
Yeah. No,
Easy.
too much, too much.
Damn it. Ah.
Also, accidentally used Stasis Sword there. That was a mistake. You should always use Lightning Stab instead of Stasis if you have it. But
Wait, so you could have done it.
did I accidentally select Stasis at first? I thought I selected Lightning Stab, then accidentally backed out
Yeah.
to Stasis. Did I? Alright,
You did
well,
select stasis. I think it could have been done.
that's
whatever.
okay. These are
It worked.
unprecedented strategies, never before tested, so...
Because it's actually not supposed to happen.
It's not supposed to happen. But this is not supposed to happen in your favor, so I'll take it.
Yeah. Actually, would you be able to learn lightning
No,
stuff?
no,
right
no,
now?
no,
Because you use Agris quite a lot now.
Not even close. You barely
Yeah.
get enough for move +1, and you'd have to leave her a Holy Knight, so you do less damage.
Oh, right, you change her. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And even then, even if you left her a Holy Knight the entire way through, you wouldn't have enough. Unless you started with a lot of unspent JP. Alright, there are more units after us. This woman, named Meliadul, is also working for the Shrine Knights. And, you know, she's after us because we accidentally killed, or she thinks we killed her brother, Islud. Which means she is Vormov's daughter.
Yeah, I guess we never explained that Vormoth actually killed his own son,
I mentioned
I
it while
guess.
you were away.
the Zodiac Demon. But oh, I see.
And we deal with her the same way we deal with everyone else. We shoot her in the face.
It's worth noting that she has a accessory that actually gives her re-raise.
Mm-hmm. She has the
But-
Chantage.
Yeah, but that does not work for her.
And there's actually another item that gives you re-raise called the Angel Ring, but that's just initial re-raise. The Chantage gives you auto re-raise, which means it will give you re-raise forever, until the end of time. So the only way to actually lose if you put a Chantage on all of your units is to have all of your units die simultaneously, because they'll just keep reviving over and over and over again.
And the next spell is very, very interesting if you are deep into FFT.
Yeah,
Very
this
interesting
battle
battle.
scales to your level. Fortunately, because it's a speed run, all my units are very low level, so I don't have to worry about, you know, units going before me or having a lot of HP or whatnot. And the types of units you get in this battle are also randomized. I got a good mix here. I got 3 yellows, 2 red chocobos, and 1 black chocobo. That's a nice smattering of chocobos. I believe someone did donate to kill the animals, so we're going to kill all the animals right here, right now.
We also got a $15 donation from Kasumi Blue, who says, "Why be bigger than Jesus when you could be bigger than even a Jorah?"
The things I say on my stream that people remember never ceases to amaze me.
But yeah, like Claude said, if you would actually be leveled and play this game like casually, the enemies would be on your level, and this can get really bad if you get a bad enemy formation, like let's say 4 red chocobos, because red chocobos are actually quite strong.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they can deal up to like 300 damage on like level 30, I think, with Shoko Meteor, which is also range attack, so yeah, and they're really fast. Fortunately, that's not the case here though.
And we have another $13.13 from Rachel, who says 1.3 is the world's best FFT ROM hack.
That's a good one. Oh, that's a troll donation because the person who made 1.3's name is Arcale, and anyone who doesn't really like Arcale calls him Rachel because, you know, that's funny. I think it's funny, so I appreciate the donation, especially the
I'm glad I
$13
read it that way
donation.
then, because, yeah, okay, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's all about context. So we finally made our way to Zeltania Castle because we were heading over here because we heard Delita was over here. And, you know, your sister got kidnapped, a bunch of people are turning into monsters. Might as well talk to the guy who seems to know a little bit about what's going on with the war. And we meet him in a church because we're a heretic, and there's no safer place for a heretic than in the middle of a church.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you know it, there's someone out to get us. Let's see, we're in the middle of a church. We're a known heretic. I wonder if it's that heresy examiner from earlier. It probably is, but you never know. I mean, I heard a gunshot outside, and I don't think he can equip guns, so it's anyone's guess.
That's a mystery.
Nah, it is him. It is him. Also, contrary to rumors you may have heard, you cannot knock Zalmo off the roof here. I don't care what you heard, what stories have been told on the interwebs. You cannot knock Zalmo off the roof because he is immune to knockback, as are most special characters. And I used Stasis Sword out of muscle memory there, but whatever.
Nice, good fight.
That's a really good fight, yeah. You just place Agrius there, you kill Zalmo, and that's the end of the fight.
But I gotta ask, where did the gunshot come from?
No idea. Alright, so here we meet another character. Her name is Balmafula. I affectionately call her Boomafuma because it's easier and funner to say. It turns out she's a spy working for Delita to keep an eye on the church, which is located at Mirand. I just say the church, Mirand, same thing pretty much. Disciples of Ajura. And here we find out that Delita is essentially using Ramza for his own purposes, even though Delita is pretending to be his friend. He has more sinister intentions in mind, and Boomafuma doesn't seem to appreciate that, but Delita doesn't really seem to care at all.
Yeah, this upcoming battle is actually very, very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in this category.
But I can't fight it because I have to fight in a random encounter.
How much is that? Oh, you didn't get one. Nice.
Good one. Yeah, sorry, my headset's dying on me. So, like I said before, you don't want to equip the stone guns normally, because if you do that, you start the battle petrified. But this is another battle where you can go ahead and equip the stone guns before the battle with no penalty. And it's all because of this guy. His name is Balk. He's also working for the Shrine Knights. Seems to be a recurring trend these days in Chapter 4. And Balk does not play fair. That's like Balk's modus operandi, is to not play fair. And at the beginning of this battle, Balk throws a poison at you called Moss Fungus. And that poison is so powerful it overrides all initial status effects you have on your units. Or at least it overrides the Petrify. I guess it doesn't override the Haste, which is pretty fortunate. And because it overrides the Petrify, we can start the battle with the stone guns with no penalty.
Usually this battle is very hard because Balk has initial, I think, defense and magic defense up.
Yes.
And he's an engineer, so he has access to guns as well. Can be very, very annoying.
Mm-hmm. He was too slow on the draw though, so we got him.
Yeah.
And things aren't looking good for TG Sid. Once the most powerful warrior in all the land during the 50-Year War, which is the war that takes place before this game, along with his good friend Balbanes, who is Ramza's father. Turns out he's suspected of being a spy. And, you know, you just gotta lock your most powerful warrior in the entire land away in the dungeon, because he might be a spy. And who told him that?
Well, I mean,
than none other than, you know, Delita and Boomafuma, who'd only joined his, you know, his unit, so to say, like a year ago. I'd trust them over your, like, longtime soldier and good friend.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
I mean, they are connected to Miron, so
hmm And the church would never do anything wrong.
right.
So here is the first and last time you're actually given a choice about which battle you'd like to fight.
Sadly, we were fighting the boring one.
Yeah, in this category, it's actually not that much of a difference to fight the south wall of Bethel Garrison instead of the north wall, which is the battle I fight in every other category of this game. I'm just going to fight the north wall because that's what I'm familiar with, and south wall you have to kind of do some different stuff. It has ninjas, it has thieves. I'd rather take the archers, lancers, and summoner. And a monk. Can't forget the monk.
The monk is the most important one. It's the troll.
And also, there's less dialogue in this battle compared to South Wall.
Oh yeah. Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I'm getting like amazing luck in every fight ever since Chapter 2 ended. Agrius is even not level 18 here, which is good because that means she doesn't have her speed point, which is actually beneficial because if she did, I would have to move my units closer to her. This guy had HP restore, but fortunately I could kill him. I'd have to move my units closer to her to quick her. Because she's slower than me, I can quick her without moving, and that's faster. By a little bit. Nice, we got at least an MP restore.
No.
Yeah, we did.
Oh.
And
nice.
the summoner was taking a long time to think of his turn. It's alright though, he figured it out.
I like how he restored 0 MP though.
Yeah. MP Store is an ability that restores your MP to maximum when you are in critical, but he was already in maximum because he didn't get a single turn. That was another really nice fight.
Yeah.
Not getting owned. I don't know what's happening. I got all my like ownage out of the way at the beginning.
Don't worry about it. I got it covered.
Alright. That's what the people donated for.
Yeah.
I didn't expect the sniper Gaba. Now I feel bad they don't have anything to donate for again, but hopefully, you know, people aren't like me. You know, they're not like pure evil. You know, they're not out to destroy the universe like I am. They just donate out of the goodness of their hearts to Doctors Without Borders, which is a great
Sounds
cause.
like a good plan. Yeah.
I think if Ramza, you know, were with us today in real life, he would support Doctors Without Borders because he's all about, you know, like helping whoever's in need. Doesn't matter who it is, which side they're on. He just helps whoever. It's you know, my take. If I were writing my fan fiction, and Lord knows I have. Also, turns out Dysadarg betrayed his superior Larg. He says it's because there's a plot on Larg's side to overthrow the Beolves, which is the name of their family that Ramza is a part of. So that's why he killed Larg. I don't know if that's accurate though.
Checks out for me. I don't know. Oh yeah, we're about to fight the Sluice.
Yes, the Sluice. The Sluice is a very interesting battle, very unique battle. It actually has a different win condition than any other battle in the entire game, which is you're not out to assassinate a certain target, you're not out to defeat all enemies, you're not out to save a unit while defeating all enemies or assassinating someone. Your only goal in this battle is to open the sluice gates, to hit the 2 switches at the top of the sluice that the knights are currently standing on. And that's it, that's all you have to do. And Ramza wants to do that because he thinks it'll help bring the war to a standstill, I think. That's the storyline reason. Now this battle is a huge pain in the butt in the North American version because you don't have access to any of the glitched items.
Yeah.
So you have to go for a risky teleport followed by a risky haste, and even then you have to hope you don't die to like just some randomness because this battle has a lot of stuff it can throw at you. But in the Japanese version of this game, you have access to the first shot glitch, you have access to every item in the game, and it's essentially trivial. Also, it's worth noting that the knights do not move off these switches unless there's only 1 unit left in your party that they can see, in which case they will go after that unit. Technically I brought 3 units here, however one of them is petrified, the other one is invisible, and the only unit they can actually see is Alicia in the lower right corner of the screen. So all the knights go after Alicia, and I'm just going to hop up here, step on this switch, and after some dialogue I'll step on the next switch, and that'll be it. Very straightforward fight in the Japanese version compared to North American. In the North American version, this fight is do or die.
Yeah. You have like a 80% teleport, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And
Followed by a 91% haste. Or a
Yeah.
71% quick if you're that kind of guy.
But yeah, this is really simple.
Mm-hmm.
I think, did he say the secret close gives you the vanish status?
Yes, the secret close is what is giving me technically the transparent status.
Transparent, yeah.
And that makes you invisible to units. They can't see you. They can technically target you if they hit you with an AoE while trying to hit another unit, but for the most part they can't see you or interact with you. So you're perfectly safe, and you buy Excalibur, which grants you auto haste, so Ramza gets a lot of turns, so we can move on to the switches very quickly and end the battle. Also, even though that wave of water appeared to wash away my units, they're perfectly fine. It's just a aesthetic thing.
It's only water.
Yeah, it's only water. If it doesn't turn you into a frog, you're fine. And look at this, it's TG Sid, Orlando. Looks like he likes me. I think he wants to join my party.
No.
Nah, wait, hold on. I think so.
Wow.
I mean, we saw Agrius with a Chaos Blade, and she killed everything. Can you imagine how powerful Orlando with a Chaos Blade is gonna be? What?
No.
Me neither.
So actually, legit question. Does the level matter that Orlando joins?
No, not at all, this run.
Alright.
All that matters is that he's 23 by the underground book storage, 4th floor.
I see.
Because then I can give him the bracer because he'll have his speed point. But for the most part, it's pretty irrelevant. It's not like other categories.
Alright.
Even scrollable Orlando is pretty irrelevant. Obviously it helps, but not needed.
Damn. Delita kills Montana.
Yeah, it turns out Delita isn't a very nice guy at all. Probably weren't right to trust him. He killed Goltana, and he also killed Gravados as Sid. To make it look like Orlando died, even though Orlando is secretly helping us to try and end the war, stop the church, rescue our sister. We have a lot of goals. It's like a 3-point plan we're trying to accomplish. So I don't know, Delita definitely seems to have a lot of goals in mind himself, but it's a very complex web that is Final Fantasy Tactics.
Got a few donations here.
Go ahead.
$5 from Elma Goose. $5 to use Meliadul over Agrius.
Dude, Icarus has lightning stab. Why would I take melee duel now?
Sounds legit though. I don't know.
If you want me to take her, I'll take her.
And $5 from RJA0ZCOQ96, who says, let's get an any percent run of Donald Land at 14k.
I don't think that's authorized.
We got people making up their own incentives now.
I mean, I think we have to play Dragon Quest 3. I mean, didn't people donate $6,000 to see Dragon Quest 3?
I believe they did.
I believe they did. I believe we have to watch that instead. So there you go.
But I know what we can do. We can pretend that Dragon Quest 3 is Donald Land.
There you go. I mean, I'm not a fan of pretending other games are Donald Land, but just in this one instance, I guess I'll do it.
Also, hello, Used Pizza.
Hello, Used
Welcome
Pizza.
back.
You get. Oh man. Are you keeping track of encounters?
Yeah, I'm up to 9.
I guess we're still average.
If I get no more, starting right now.
Oh man.
It's just been encounters though. The fights themselves have been like great.
Yeah. Alright, we made it 1.
What do you think? You think I got one?
No.
You spoiled. You like cheated by waiting.
No, I didn't see it before I said no.
Well, did anyone donate for me to buy the flower? Because I don't think anyone donated for that.
Damn it,
No.
I should have done that.
You should have done that, but you didn't.
Damn.
This is a kind of a cameo character. She lives in the slums. She sells flowers. I forget what her name is. I think her name is Yuffie. Either way, we don't have any business with her, so away we go.
Alright. Oh. Yeah, actually, because we got all in and now we got a menu a little bit. Get him geared up. I guess technically check his JP, so we can see if he can be scrolled.
I usually check it in the battle itself rather than in this menu.
I see. Makes sense. You can tell by the amount of abilities or what abilities he had if he's scrollable or not, in case somebody wonders about that. Especially for Orlando, it's pretty finicky in both versions, I think.
Yeah, it's actually easier to use